video. Super excited. I'm going live on YouTube today instead of doing my normal live on Facebook. Just because I want to make it easier for people to find me. So today we're doing our day 2 of our October Christmas craft along. So I have here my 38-page tutorial. You can actually get this for free. I have all the details in the description, or you can actually get the whole Christmas craft along as well. And I am going to kind of flip down the camera right now. And if you get dizzy, close your eyes. It'll just take a moment. So close them and I'll let you know when to open them. All right, you can open them up now. And I just need to make sure I can see everything here. So give me a moment to get to my channel. And I just want to see that I can see us streaming. So if you're joining me, say hello, leave me a comment. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and share it with people. All right, so let's go here. I got a couple more clicks to do just to make sure that I'm broadcasting. Originally, I wanted to actually do this on my computer and my phone, but it wasn't quite working that way. So, okay, it looks like I'm live. Oops. I'm just trying to go there and see it. I'm going to go over my Facebook page because I do have it there. All right, so I got that going. No. Sorry, it's taking me a minute. I'm not usually going live on Facebook. So, I mean, on YouTube. So I'm just going to make sure everything is going to the right place. So just bear with me. And let's go here. And we'll go here. And we'll go all here. Right. Yay, I can find myself. All right. So today we are going to be making 2 fun projects. Now I've collaborated with 2 amazing demonstrators, Deb Smeek and Sherry Ozicki, and we have come up with 13 different projects for this craft along. Yesterday were the 2 projects that I designed, and today I'm going to be using the 2 projects that Deb designed. So each day for the next couple days until Saturday, we'll be sharing 2 projects each day. Deb has a YouTube channel, Delight of My Art, and Sherry's YouTube channel is Loved by Him. And I'm pretty sure that was it. Yeah, so I'm going to show you the cards. And now I've already gotten a lot of my pieces done. Now, if you ordered the Christmas craft along and you have your kit there, I'll go ahead and explain all the different things that we'll be using. So you're going to be getting out your traditional sequence. You'll need your baker's twine. You'll need your little baggie of die cuts. And then you will need garden green, real red, 3 pieces of your designer series paper. Okay, so you want the little holly, this little, I don't know what pattern it is. This is the other side. And then the one with the wreath. All right. Oh, I had 2 of them. All right. You do need 2. Okay, so we're going to put that like that. That will make this card. So this is a fun gift card holder and little sentiment area. So just flip that open. So we're going to be making this one. And then we are going to be making this little pinch to open cinch box. All right. And this will actually fit a little hand lotion. So I have a little hand lotion in there. And I'll be showing you how to make both of those today. So we're going to start with our double open gift card holder. Now I have my instructions here. Now in your craft along kit, you also have your pieces. The only thing that we're going to be using is a little bow, so you can take whichever bow. And I'm going to put those there. Like I said, I have all my extra bits and pieces here kind of already pulled aside. I'm going to be having my tearing tape. Now I'm going to show you this particular sweater I did with Stamping Blends. All right, so as you notice, the white embossing is kind of taken on the color of the blends. I'm going to show you how to use markers and do this same card, and you judge which you like better, the blends or the markers. So we're going to get out a couple of things here. I do need, from my little baggie of die cuts, I do need this sentiment here. And I need the soft seafoam circle. We'll need some dimensionals there. I'm going to pull in my embossing buddy. Move this out of the way for right now. We're going to pull in our embossing buddy. We're going to actually stamp our sweater first so we can kind of get that taken care of. All right. And I want some white embossing powder, which I happen to have in my handy dandy little container. So if you're here watching the live, say hello, put something in the chat. Let me know that you're there. Tell me if you have any questions or anything else like that. Those of you that do have the craft along, you have your step-by-step tutorial. So just go ahead and pull that out and you can go along with me. I am actually having this right off to my side, so I make sure I tell you the correct measurements. And let's see, I need my heat tool. All right. So we're just going to put that right there for right now. Let's grab our embossing buddy here. Now this now comes with the accessories kit. So there's a little embossing tray, a brush, and a little tweezers that you'll get with that. All right. I want my Versamark stamp pad. And I want my sweater from our Stay Warm stamp set. So I should probably show you what that looks like. Where did my stamp sets go? So we're going to be using, on this first one, our Stay Warm stamp set. I really like this stamp set. It's a lot of fun to use. This is a reversible stamp set. So what that means is on one side, you'll have the detail. If you flip it over, you'll have the solid image. I do have a couple of different videos showing how to do that on my Facebook page and on YouTube. So check it out, the Stay Warm classes. All right, so we're just going to get this one inked up with our Versamark. When it's a larger stamp, I like to flip my stamp over so I can ink it. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and... Sherry, Deb, and I had a lot of fun designing this class for you, and we hope you really enjoy these cards. Each of us stamp and write up things a little differently, so you'll be seeing that in your tutorial. You'll get a different flavor from each of us, but it's fun to collaborate with someone else and come up with some ideas. All right, so now I've gone ahead and I put my white embossing powder onto my white cardstock. So this was just a scrap of white cardstock. You have a bunch of extra in your kit, so you will have plenty. I'm just going to close this up because if I don't, I'll either blow it all over the place or I'll dump it. All right, so now I'm just going to use my heat tool here, and I'm going to heat through the back. And you'll start to see this change. I usually warm up my heat tool before I even start. And I'm interested to know, let me know here, can you hear my heat tool? Sometimes my videos will like reduce that sound. Other times it doesn't. So I'm just curious if it's doing that. All right, and it looks like my computer froze over there. Oh, maybe not. All right, so you can sort of see it changing. It's changing from that powder to that shininess there. So that's what we want. We want the shiny. I'm just going to pull it off to the side so I can get that done a little faster. And I go back over it once more just to make sure I've gotten all of it. Now the white on white is a little hard to see. I'm going to give it a moment to cool off. You need to let it cool off. Otherwise, if you try to do something and this is still warm and sticky, you end up like smearing it. Okay, so let it give it a moment or two to cool. I can see right here I didn't actually finish embossing, so I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Because if I don't have that done and I go to color, I'm going to make a hot mess. So this is kind of a technique called resist emboss. Now, we used to do this back in the day with clear embossing powder, and then you would just take your blending brushes and you can, blend it that way, or you take crayons and do it, or you take watercolor pencils. Same thing with the markers, just bringing an old technique back. So I'm going to go ahead and grab, I think I have two of them already out, my Garden Green and my Real Red. Now, Stampin' Up! Is going to be discontinuing the Stampin' Right markers. So if you like coloring with markers, make sure you order these right away, because once they're gone, they're not coming back. All right. The number for this one is 161699. This is the Regals. I tend to be a stamper that stamps like colors by the season. So it's Regal season. I'm going to go ahead and do my coloring here. I'm going to try to do my brush. And actually, I need my green first. My green is my top. All right, let's take the green. All right, and we're going to color it right in here. Now, what I'm talking about when I say resist emboss here, what happens is when you get a little bit of ink on that white embossing stuff, I guess I'm going to call it, because it's not powder anymore. Some of the colors, if you're using blends, will kind of stick to it. With the markers, actually, this color will not stick. It's going to wipe off. So you can just take a tissue and wipe it off. It may a little bit, but not too bad. I can see this marker is kind of dried out. So I'm just coloring in this area. Really good here. All right. And then I'm going to go to the top here. And I'm going to go ahead and just color this in there. All right. Now it's okay if I go outside the lines, because we're going to be trimming this out by hand. So I am just going to quickly go across. Now, as you can see, the color is not sticking real well to that embossed area. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to grab a tissue right away. And I'm just going to wipe that off. All right. Just like that. I'm going to come back in and color a little bit more of this area here. When I use that chisel end, it didn't color really well. So we'll just get that colored in. I'm going to go back over it. There we go. We'll wipe it off. That way I don't get green on my red. All right. I'll take my red marker now, and I'm just going to use the brush end, and I'm just going to go to town. It doesn't take that long to do. The reason I wanted to show you the marker version and the blend version is so you can see the different coloring. All right, so with my markers here, I've got a much brighter color than I did with my blends. And it seems brighter. I mean, the color is really not brighter. It's because the embossing is jumping out a little bit more. All right. Now my markers are pretty old here, so I just need to color multiple times through here. All right. Okay, there we go. Again, we'll take our tissue here. Just going, some of it is a little bit, I mean, it's not fully white. Some of it kind of soaked in a little bit, but if I put pressure on it, it'll come off. All right. So now I'm going to bring up the two differences so you can see them. Yep. So let's go ahead and we're going to cut this puppy out. I'm going to cut right along the embossed line there. Now I have some stuff on my scissors. And this sweater and hat and mittens is pretty easy to cut out. So you'll have some fun with it. Now, if you're on YouTube, you can always head over to YouTube and check out some of my cards and my videos that I have over there with this stamp set. Now, videos only last for 30 days on YouTube. That's kind of why I'm decided to really go live here on, on Facebook. Videos are deleted after 30 days. That's why I wanted to go live here on YouTube so that my videos don't disappear. I put all that work into it, and now Facebook is just kind of getting rid of them. So since I tend to go live on Facebook and then download the video and upload it to YouTube, you know what? It's just easier doing it right away on YouTube. All right, there we go. And on Facebook, there is a link so you can jump over. So if you're watching, you know, if you check out Facebook, you can jump over to my YouTube channel from there. All right, so we're going to grab this. And so I go step by step through the instructions that Deb wrote up. And we have a piece of, I'm just going to move these out of the way for the moment. We have a piece of garden green. Now this piece, when I originally cut it, was 8.5 by 11. So I cut it in half. So I have now an 11 by 4.25. I'm going to trim down a little bit, and I have my trim down piece somewhere else here. I'm going to trim a 1/2 inch off of there. So now what I really have is a 10.5 inch by 4.25 inch piece of garden green. I'm going to bring in my scoring tool because I really do like this, especially when I'm doing 3D projects. This, I feel, helps me get my project lining up much better. So now on my 10.5 inch side, I'm going to be scoring at 2 inches and 5 inches. All right. So now this piece is 5.5, just kind of like a standard card side. All right. So we're going to go ahead and burnish this. I have a piece of real red. This is 2 3/4 wide. Sorry, 3 inches wide by 9.5, and we're going to be scoring that at 4 3/4, so in half. Right. That's what I'm doing for my scoring. I want to get those two pieces ready so we can get everything else done. All right. So here we go. So next, we are going to cut the piece of soft seafoam, the pale soft seafoam designer series paper. Right here, this piece is going to measure 6 inches by 4 inches, and then we'll be cutting off 3/4 inch. All right. When we cut off 3/4 inch, we want to make sure that we're leaving, oh, let's see. Yeah, it doesn't matter which one we're leaving on this one. I thought it did. It's one of the other cards that it matters. All right. So let's go ahead. And again, we're cutting this one to be 6 inches by 4 inches. Okay. So we'll cut this at 4 inches. And I'm going to cut off 3/4 inch from one of these sides here. I was just looking to see what I had there. It doesn't really matter which one you do. Okay. So now we're going to take this and we're going to adhere it right on here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my handy dandy seal. Now don't worry, in this package of the Christmas Traditions mix and match paper, you have multiple pieces of this same paper. Okay, so there we go. We want to take this side here, and we're going to just grab a circle punch. In the directions, I think Deb said she was using a 1 3/4. I didn't have a 1 3/4 handy, so I'm grabbing my 1 7/8 inch punch. I am just going to slide this in and kind of eyeball where the center is. I'm not going down really far. I'm going maybe a third of the way. All that's doing is putting a little notch in there so it makes it easier to slide the gift card in and out. So that is the purpose of that. All right. So now we are going to take this DSP, this 3/4 inch that we cut off, and we're going to be putting it right here. All right. So what we want to do, we want to have that stick up just a little bit so they know where the pocket is. All right. So it's going to be right there. And you want this to be sticking on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and put my adhesive on here. I'm going to measure it up right here. So I'm trying to cover that little notch there, but not go down too far. And I have that stuck to my fingers. All right. So I'm just going to eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right. That looks to be about good. So let's just get it in there. There we go. All right. And now I'm going to go ahead and So she said not to glue this down yet, so I'll wait. We're going to take our real red cardstock now, right here. We're going to fold it in half, and we're going to glue it to the inside right here. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm mixing and matching my adhesive just so you're aware. I want to make sure that I'm using a very strong adhesive to hold this down because it's going to be open and closed a lot. All right, so here we go. So I've got this right here, and I'm going through, like I said, the steps that are in the tutorial. Now you can get the tutorial free when you place an order in my online store, and I've got all the details in there. You will also, you can get it free when you join my team. And then you can also order the whole craft along kit. We are going to be offering that. We're extending our offer through the rest of the week. So if you want all the supplies to make your craft along kit, so if you didn't watch yesterday's video, watch it because you'll see the unboxing of the kit. That way you'll know all the things that you're going to get in there. All right, so we are going to trim down our wreath piece right here. So we're going to move this out of the way. And this wreath piece is going to be 4.5, excuse me, by 2 3/4. All right, so I'm going to grab this. And what I'm trying to do is get as much of this wreath as I can. So I'm going to go to 2 3/4 inch tall. I do want to get the bottoms and stuff here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move this up so that my leaves are right in the edge of my trimmer there. And I'm going to cut across there. Then I'm going to come over, flip it around, and now I'll measure 2 3/4. This way, I know that I have most of that showing like I want. Now I do need to trim this off here as well. So this only needs to be 4.5 inches wide. So we're going to slide this in. Again, I want to keep my wreath arch as much as I can. So this is 4.5. All right. And we have a little bit of that pattern there. I'm going to move these off to my side. We're going to be using that piece, so don't get rid of it. All right. So let's bring in our card here. And, oh, I just realized I used my piece that I needed here to stamp the sweater on. So I just need to cut a piece of basic white here. Now don't worry, you have 6 extra pieces of basic white in your kit. You'll have enough. All right. Yep, perfect. Okay. So I just need to cut this piece of basic white to 4.5 by 2 3/4. Here we go. All right. This is going to be for the inside here. You're going to stamp a sentiment in there. And we're going to take this piece and glue this onto our front flap. All right. Just like this. Ta-da. All right. Now, I'm going to take one of my die cut pieces there, and we're going to put that right here. And I just need to grab my die cut pieces. Where did I put them? Again, I told you, I warned you before that I lose my things. Even though it's right here on my desk, I tend to lose them. So we're just going to grab, oh, I had one out. We're going to grab one of these little leaves here. All right. I actually need a couple of them. So let's just quarter pieces. Now I have my pieces here in this bag because it kind of fell out. Doesn't matter which ones you grab. I am going to grab this one that kind of has a little bit of a curve because I'm going to put that right here. And I think I'm going to grab this one right in there. Let's go ahead and adhere those down. All right. And we're going to take our pocket. We're going to glue down our pocket. Now, because this is going to be, you know, holding that gift card, I want to make sure it stays in place. So the thing that I like to do when I'm working with something like that is I use my tear and tape. That, and it's narrow, so I can make sure that I have, number one, my glue in the right place, and number two, that my gift card will slide in and out. Whereas this is a little bit wider. It's more like a ½ inch. This is more like a ½ inch. All right, so then we grab our take a pick tool here, and we'll pop that up. Throw those pieces out. We'll fold this down. Okay, it forms our little pocket. So here we go. Now I'm going to take this and adhere that right over my pocket. Just like that. All right, now we're almost done. We have to finish our front. So what we'll do next is we're going to take that one scrap piece of paper that we had. It's not though, it's where to go. All right, remember when I said save it? Yeah, I don't know what I do with mine. All right, so use this. This piece here is going to be using the holly side. So what I want to do is cut this one at 2 3/4 by 4 inches. So I'm going to take this, and I wonder if I have this piece already. No, that's too small. All right, so this one by 4 inches. And let's see what I put on there. Yep, just fine. So we'll take this. Yep. Put this right on the front. Just center it on that flap. All right. Now we're going to take our sweater and we're going to adhere our sweater right to our soft sea foam circle. Oh my gosh, I couldn't find my words there. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my dimensionals to do that. One of the things I'm not going to do though is I'm not going to put my dimensionals so far down because I do want my sleeves to kind of overlap my sentiment. So, but I want those to stay down. So I'm using quite a few dimensionals there. So let's go ahead and peel that up. Okay, peel that up. And we're going to put this down. Just like so. I need my bits and pieces again because I need a bow. So grab out whatever bow you want. And since I see this one right here, I'm just going to grab the red bow this time. I used my green bow already, so. And we're just going to adhere that right on. I'm just going to take some liquid glue this time. All right. Just flip that over. Put it right on the sweater. What a cute Christmas sweater, hey? All right. Now, what am I missing here? All right, so I need my sentiment. So for this sentiment, we're going to be using our traditional labels. So we have this die cut already for you. It comes from our traditional labels. We just thought this was really cute. So I'm going to use Sending Love and Joy again. So it's a great holiday sentiment set. And Sending Love and Joy, where are you? Here it is. So let me grab a block here. And I want to make sure I have my sentiment going the right way. So I'm looking for the side that has a little bit wider little triangle there, because that's going to fit my sentiment best. All right, we're going to use real red ink. Now my real red ink, I really need to re-ink it. I'm going to have to do that tonight. All right, there we go. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to slide our little sentiment in. Let's see, does she have another page? Okay. And we have this on dimensionals already. So we've got our label, and we're going to tuck it under the sleeves and add a dimensional to the bottom here. So what we'll do, just kind of layer it like that. We don't want that to happen, but we want this to happen. All right, just like that. When we put this on, we're just going to put on, and I'm going to do it at a little bit of an angle, just because I didn't really center my sweater very well. So I'm going to be doing that. Before I do this, there is a little space right here at the bottom that I'm going to put a dimensional. Now, if I didn't leave myself a lot of space, what I'll do is I'll put a half a dimensional. So I can just slide that up. We'll peel that off. I'm going to add 2 little dots of glue here, just behind my sleeves. And we'll slide that in. Right. Sending love and joy. And now we're going to go ahead and just put this on the front of our card. So I'm only going to put adhesive on this side. All right. So go ahead, and she is actually using dimensionals. So I want to make sure what side I'm on. I am on my left side here. And I do want to make sure I have enough to keep it in place. All right. There we go. And you can always tell right there. All right. So now the last thing that we have to do is add our embellishments. So I just need to grab mine. All right, here we go. And she had used gold on hers. You can use whichever color you like. I think I'm going to go with the red. So put one right there. I'll put another one right. You know what? I'm going to put it right here because I didn't give myself a whole lot of room over there. And then I'll take a large one. I'll put it somewhere over here. All right. Now you can add as many as you want. This is your card, so you get to decide. I'll put a total of 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I need one more. And I think I'm just going to do it right. I don't know. I'm going to do it right down here. All right. So there we go. Double flap card, place for your gift holder, and a little sentiment. All right. So that is our double open gift card holder. So here's the difference again between the blends where it's kind of covering up some of that white, and then here's using the markers where we wiped it off, and you can really see how much more pronounced that is. So you take your choice. Let me know which one you like. Put it in the comments. All right, I'm going to put these things away, and we'll get ready for our next card here. And again, we're going to be using our Stay Warm stamp set. And I need to clean my stamp pad. Or not my stamp pad, my stamp. So hopefully all of you from Facebook found your way over here. All right. And all right, let's move that out of the way. And our next thing is our little pinch box. So it's our pinch to open and close bag. So really you're just pinching this to open and close. But we're going to do this right now. I'm going to actually use a different color piece of designer series paper, but I'll walk you through all the pieces. So this piece here measures 6.5 inches tall by 4.5 wide. So you can use whichever. So this is just the opposite side of that one. All right. Now we need to do some score work on here. So let's pull in our scoring tool. I do have a scrap of red, and I have a scrap of my shaded spruce, and I think that's it for cutting out the stamped images. But for right now, excuse me, I just need to take a sip of something here. All right, there we go. Much better. All right. We're going to be scoring at 1 inch on the top, and I'm sorry, 1 inch on the bottom and 1/2 inch on the top. So I'm actually going to turn it this direction. I'm doing a 1/2 inch right here. Now, when you are scoring designer series paper, just go over it multiple times. Don't press hard because you don't want to tear through it. So I've got my 1 inch right here. I mean my 1/2 inch right here, and I've got 1 inch right here. So I'm going to score this at 5.5 inches. All right. Now I can burnish my, and all burnishing means is, you know, fold along your score lines. All right. Now, on the 4 inch side here, we're actually going to score this at 1/2 inch again. So my 1/2 inch is up at the top. So doing another 1/2 inch here. And I need to go to 2.5. All right. So I've got those two. And you can tell you did it right because this will all match together. All right. just like that. Okay, we're not done yet because we need a few more score lines on our bottom here. All right, so we are going to score from the bottom right to that score line, and we're going to do it at 1.5. So 1.5. You know what? I'm going to turn it this way so I can see it better. So I'm going to, sorry, I got to go this way. I need my 1/2 inch piece over here. So there's my 1/2 inch piece. So from here, I'm going to 1.5. Right, that's going to give me a 1 inch tab right there. And then here I'm already scored, so that gives me a 1 inch there. And now I'm going to go to 3.5. All right, so you have 4 little tabs, 1, 2, 3, 4, that are 1 inch wide. So we're going to get this out of our way. 2. And we're going to bring in our snips here. All right, now I'm having my 1/2 inch at the top and my 1/2 inch on the left. All right, I'm going to cut out this rectangle down here, but I'm going to cut it at a little bit of an angle there. It just will help my box go together. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up to that 1 inch score line. So every 1 inch here, I have a score. A little hard to see that one. And then I've got 1 inch here. All right. So there we go. I am going to then run adhesive along here. So you can use tear and tape, you can use seal, whatever you have. Right. And actually, before I do that, I had to fold down this part here. So I do need to add a little bit of seal here and here. I'm going to fold this down so we see that other pattern a little bit. Now I have seal right over here. I'm going to take that, fold that down. I'm going to fold this in half. Right. Now 2 sides line up. We're going to give it a good press. And this is how we got our little pinch there. If you have a little excess, just trim that off. All right. Now we need to fold our box together. So remember where your seam is here, because you want that to be the back of the box. So that's the one that you're going to fold in first. So I'm actually going to take my liquid glue and I'm going to just pop that one right there. So this was the back. This one's going to be the front. I've got that one there. I got a little glue on this one, a little glue on this one. Just going to fold those all together. And then on this one, I'm going to add a little bit of glue. And boom. All right, so we just want to get that kind of square and just hold it in place for a moment. What you can do too to make sure that that's sitting nice is you can take your bone folder and just go in there and rub. Now I had a little piece that did not cooperate, so I just need to trim that little piece off. It slid. All right. There we go. Okay. All right, now remember where your seam is. So mine's right here. I'm going to put that in the back. And now I'm going to bring in my real red and my shaded spruce. You don't need a piece this big. That happened to be the piece I had. And we're going to stamp our hat. I'm sorry, our middies and our little heart there. Or if you want to stamp something different, you can. This is what we're stamping right here. So let's grab our... When you stamp your middies, you do want to stamp all. You want to stamp them so you have 2 pairs. All right. So 1, 2, just like that. All right. And we're going to stamp our, I need my Versamark pad because we're going to do embossing again. There it is. So we're going to stamp our middies right here on our shaded spruce. And I really should have used my embossing buddy because we're going to be embossing our white powder again. So I'm going to do that there. Do it here. Okay. Now, where did I do that? All right. I'm going to go ahead and put my embossing powder on right away so that doesn't dry out. If you were stamping with regular classic dye ink, it dries really fast. So if you're going to try to get this embossed, you have to be pretty darn quick. All right, I'm going to just tap off the extra. And I'm not going to really worry about it being like down here because I'm going to be cutting those out. So that's one. Now we need to stamp our little heart here. I like to stamp two right away because every once in a while I don't stamp like evenly. So I want to make sure that my embossing looks good and it doesn't have all sorts of stuff running all over the place. All right. Again, I'm just going to flick it a little bit. Yeah, so like this one I have extra Versamark in there. So it's a good thing I stamped it a second time. All right, we'll pull in our embossing gun here. And I'll show you here how it's going to look. But when I go to emboss the mittens, I'm just going to pull it off camera. This will be easier. All right, you can see it slowly turning there from that powder to the shiny look. Take this off camera. Sorry, it's just easier. All right, so tomorrow for day 3, we'll be making projects 5 and 6, and I will be doing it on YouTube again. So tomorrow's Wednesday, yeah. All right. So those two. Now we need to trim these out. So I'm just going to trim this way. I'm going to leave that one to cool off. And now I'm going to take my heart here and go ahead and trim that out. Really, I'm trying to stay as close as I can to that embossed image. All right. Yeah, let's get these. It doesn't really take too long to cut out. There's so many different ways and so many different things you can do with this set. So I like this set. simply for the fact, I know it doesn't have any sentiments, but I can take any sentiment set that I have and make any winter card out of it. So if someone has a birthday, I can make a birthday card. If someone's not feeling well, I can make a get well card. So I'm not limited because I can pull in any sentiment set that I have. And we've been using the traditional labels sentiment set. Feel free to pull in whatever sentiment set you have handy. That's just one that we actually just liked because we were using the dies to it. We thought, oh, we should just probably just use that sentiment set too. So this has been an adventure working with Sherry and Deb. It's been a very fun adventure. We had a lot of fun planning things. Very challenged. I've been very challenged with using Google Docs because I don't use Google Docs. So yeah, that was an experience. I am a Microsoft girl, so I use all Microsoft products, and I do a lot of computer things like with Access, Excel, PowerPoint. So it's not like I'm lacking on skills. I just, for whatever reason, Google Docs was not being my friend. All right. Just this last one to cut out. Now, the fun part about this is we're going to be using our baker's twine to make those little strings. You know how you have those little strings so you don't lose your mittens? You know how your mom used to thread them through your coat, one sleeve and the other sleeve, so you wouldn't lose them anywhere? They're always in your coat. Such a great idea. I don't remember having those, though. I really don't. Maybe I was a kid that always pulled it apart. Oh, I don't know. I will have to ask my mom. All right. So now we've got our heart here. I'm going to actually put 2 dimensionals on the back of my heart. Because when I did this earlier, I felt like I had a better handle on my baker's twine. All right. So I'm just putting the 2 straight sides together right there in the middle. All right. Hopefully you can see that. Now, for my middies, I need to make sure that my middies are going to layer together. So I make sure which ones I have where. All right. So they go like that. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take some seal, put some in the middle of that one. I put it on both sides. I don't know if maybe it's overkill, but I want to make sure my stuff doesn't fall apart. So there we go. All right, and now we're going to take 5.5 inches of our twine. Last time I didn't measure it and mine got really long, so I'm going to measure it this time. So 5.5 is right about there. All right. And I'm going to sandwich one end here. Take my other midi and just line those 2 up. Best I can. There we go. There's one. We're going to do the same thing for the other midi. I know they should be called mittens, and I call them middies. That's just what we called them as kids, middies. This reminds me of the 5 little kittens who lost their mittens. My grandmother used to tell me that story all the time when I was little. All right. So now here, I'm having a hard time sliding these around. I'm going to put my string right here and layer my other mitten. Okay, so they're about even. If I need to trim it down a little bit, I can't. Oh my goodness, that did not go well. Okay. Here we go. All righty. So now I got my little middies. All right. So I do want to make sure that they're opposite each other. Okay. So I've got a little bit excess here. So I'm just going to do some little surgical snipping. Okay. We're going to take our backings off our heart. Ooh, give me that back. I need the heart. The backing and the heart both went. All right. And now I'm just going to go ahead and pick these up. I'm going to put them at a little bit different heights here. pick it up with my dimensional right there. It's going to hold on to it, and we'll put that right on the front here. I want these actually a little closer together. There we go, just like that. Just so they're hanging a little closer together. All right, we'll just put this right at the top there. Okay, so we got little middies. Now, I'm going to take my little hand lotion, drop it inside. You don't even have to close it. And this is how they squeeze it to open it, all right? So now I'm going to put some little sequins on. So I'm going to go ahead and ooh, did I not get that off? Oh, please, it didn't want to stay. I didn't press well enough. Okay, I'm just going to hold that for a minute. All right, and now I just need to put a couple of my sequins on. I'm going to go ahead and use red. It kind of pops it out a little bit better. So just really placing them anywhere on my little project. Oh, if I can get them out from underneath my fingernail. All right. And we'll put the other one right down here. Okay, come on. There we go. Okay, that's where it wants to go. That's where it's going to go. Oh my goodness. Sticking to everywhere but the paper. All right. So there we go. A little lotion container. Here's the one from the actual tutorial. And then we have our little cards. So thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you like our day 2 projects. Tomorrow is day, like I said, day 3, and we'll be doing projects 5 and 6. Those are designed by Sherry, so make sure you come back and visit us. I hope you enjoyed these. And again, any information that you need is in the description. And if you're on my email list, I will be emailing out this weekend the list of days so you can watch the replays again if you need to. Yeah. And that's all I got for now. We'll see you later.